Sagittarius, the month of July was about blessings. Are you still being blessed in August? Well, yes, you are. But to a certain degree, I think there's a degree of disenchantment. Overall, however, the central card there, it seems like you've found a direction, got your ducks in a row, moving quite quickly in that direction. And that's probably looking good to you because of, if you look at bottom right, probably for some time now, things have felt like they're moving very slowly for you. You've been determined, but things have been moving slowly. So right now, I think you feel that you must change direction. And you're walking away from what you felt was your direction. To a certain degree, into the unknown. To a certain degree, just moving away from something as much as moving towards something else. Certainly, I think August is going to expose to you that you do need to move on. There's some baggage from the past that you need to dump. Maybe you don't do this in August, maybe this is after August, but it certainly feels like it's there. Because you've got this sort of new, well, is it a new, well, yes, no, you do get a new direction. You do start to have some small gains, small victories, if you like. But there is just a chance that makes other people jealous. I think scoring these small victories is the right thing, and you are being rewarded by the universe, God, Allah, whatever you think it is that's, or your ancestors, that's rewarding you. Rewarding on many, many planes. I'm just throwing this out now, but it may be you're by yourself. But that's the only negative to it. But it's only a maybe. What would prevent you getting these blessings is you putting up barriers. Now, these are often barriers that you put up because you've been hurt in the past, and they're entirely appropriate barriers. But what you don't realise is they are also barriers to you receiving these blessings. So let's get into it, Sagittarius. Now, the overall energy is one of you finding a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a coordination, if you like, of your aims and objectives. I don't like the inference I'm making on that, but you know, what can I say? You've got your actions and your strategy. Oh, I don't even like those words, but aligned. Let's put it that way. Things are aligned for you. A sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a sense of pace. I have, because we're living at times of such dramatic change, I've been interpreting this energy negatively. But I don't think that's true for you at all. I think it's a very necessary thing, and it's an energy that runs throughout all the other energies. I'm not trying to say that August will be plain sailing because of this energy, but it's a very necessary thing, and you may well abandon this direction later, but it feels right to me at the moment for you, Sagittarius. And I think one of the reasons why I see this energy somewhat positively is you are determined, you know. You've been following a path, but progress has been desperately slow. Desperately. And I think this is the month where you have a rethink. So therefore, to abandon your old direction and find a new one, and you don't find it immediately, is no bad thing, I think. Yeah, you've been plodding on, and you know, last month was full of blessings, you know, and it must have seemed like you were on the right track, but as is so often happening at the moment, everything is very fluid, and we must keep changing our views all the time to keep on top of the massive changes in the universe. And you see, your current energy, and this is what I mean about you don't necessarily find this direction immediately, is you walking away from the known. So probably walking away from this direction that you've had that's been moving very slowly and walking towards the unknown, knowing that it'll be a difficult path that you tread, knowing that you're abandoning what you've been so used to, but having this faith that it's the right thing to do. And that's why I think it is the right thing to be doing at a time like this. Even though I'm sure you will change many times again, this does feel like a positive move, I should say, on your behalf. Now, in the future, so I think we're talking of beyond August now, but this sense of movement, of moving on, becomes even more important. There are things from your past that you need to move on from. And you also need to dump the baggage from them. So that's why this August will seem somewhat challenging. No, challenging is too strong. Mentally challenging, let's put it that way. Because I think in August it's exposing to you that you haven't got things right. That some of the things you've taken for granted are maybe behaviours that are even founded in trauma. I'm not saying they are, but you know, there are definitely things from the past you need to abandon, you need to dump, and you need to move on. And look, don't get downhearted during August. Just because your beliefs may be challenged and have to change, maybe have to change many times. We have this view that there is one way of seeing things, and that if it changes, then, you know, it's one thing, you know, it changes. But often we can't grasp the nature of change without going through intermediary stages. So you are making progress. I think this is mental progress, to be honest. And it's somewhat slow, it's small steps. But it has to be like that. It's just possible that others are jealous of you because you're making this progress. I suspect you don't see it that way at all. I suspect you're quite dismissive of it. But you are making it, and you should recognise it. Now, I think what would maybe prevent you from continuing to progress, continuing to sort of move on in the direction that God, the universe, Allah wants you to do, is by you putting up boundaries. Now, these are probably highly appropriate boundaries. You know, you've been taken by others, you've been abused by others, betrayed by others. So putting up these boundaries to prevent further betrayal is a very natural and normal thing to do. But what we don't realise when we do it is that we're actually putting up boundaries for the bounty of the universe to come to us in the future. So here's a warning for you not to do that. You see, if you do keep making those small steps, small changes, then I believe that the universe is going to bless you once more. Just like you were blessed last month, you're going to be blessed again. It'll be multiple blessings, maybe particularly material blessings, but it doesn't have to be. I think it's multiple blessings. You're going to feel very contented with what you have, which is a very important feeling to have. Very contented, feeling like you've got what you need. And that's an exceedingly important vibration to send out. I mentioned it in the introduction, but if you look at this rendering, she's by herself. Does that mean you're all alone? It could do. I'm not certain that that's what we should read into this, but it might mean that, yes. Sagittarius, August is all about direction and change. Probably changing your beliefs many times, and you will continue to do so. This may come as a shock after last month's blessings, feeling that you'd finally got there, but August is telling me no, you hadn't. Of course, you have had a sense of direction, and it's been moving rather slowly. And what you do is you abandon that. You abandon it, maybe because it's moving too slowly for you, but you abandon it for the unknown, walking off in a direction that you don't know, embracing the unknown. And paradoxically, I think this month that actually gives you a sense of direction. You start making, and I think this is mental, I mean it might be physical, but you start making small gains, small wins, small victories. And I think this is you changing your thinking piece by piece. And it will be a struggle. It won't be easy. And others will be able to see it and maybe are jealous of what you're achieving. But you're doing it. What I would avoid if I was you is, you have been deceived, you have been abused, but putting up appropriate boundaries to prevent that from happening again, which seems like a perfectly logical thing to do. But what that would do is that would prevent further blessings coming to you. And if you just stay with these, making small changes, and I think it's in your thinking, then you will gain multiple blessings yet again. You'll be very contented with these blessings. As I say, I think they're on multiple fronts. It's possible, just possible, but I don't know, that you are by yourself in receiving these blessings. In the future, however, there is more change that's required. There is something from your past that you need to move on from. And I think that probably explains why August has not been as easy as you might have thought it was going to be. And not only do you need to move on from it, but you need to dump some baggage from it. And once you've released this baggage, I think things will be easier. But we are at a time of constant change.